Hello. I hope you've been doing well since 6 months ago. But I'm back. Before I start, I just have to say two things. First thing is that this is just my opinion, so if you disagree, feel free to leave your opinion in the comments. Or if you would like me to do anything in the video differently, just let me know. And the second thing is the way that this video is going to be structured. I'm going to be talking about Scout and its pros and cons, and then talk about Heavy's pros and cons. Then I'll compare or do a summary at the end. If you want to skip to the comparison, you just can, but it's pretty short. All the timestamps will be in the description. Anyway, let's get on to the video. So first we're going to talk about Scout. In order to play Scout, you have to have good aim because he's fast whizzing around all the time. Therefore, you have to have good aim. One good thing about him being fast is it's harder for him to die because you have to, track him. A bad thing about Scout, especially against the Heavy, is his low health. He only has 125 HP. If you're not running, jumping, and the person trying to kill you has accessible aim, you might die. I'm pretty sure Scout has a smaller hitbox than Heavy, so in general, Scout is harder to hit than Heavy. But we'll be talking about Heavy's hitbox a bit more later. I'll briefly talk about Scout's weapons. The scatter gun does up to 105 damage at point blank range, 60 from medium range, and 3 to 32 from far away. So theoretically, if you were to be very close to the Heavy, you could kill him with 3 shots. But this makes him quite close range dependent, meaning when he gets close to Heavy, it's extremely risky because of the minigun's high damage at close range. If the Scout misjudges the distance or timing, he'll be melted down before landing enough shots to kill the Heavy. Force of Nature does up to 113 damage at close range, 5 to 65 at medium, and 3 to 34 from afar. If you want a deeper analysis, you can go watch my old Scattergun vs Force of Nature video from 6 months ago. A couple will probably pop up, but if you can't see it, it'll be in the description. But I didn't know this until now, but Scout can capture points faster than every other class. He has 2 times the capture rate. Scout also pushes the payload faster than other classes. This can pressure the Heavy into defending more often, limiting his offense opportunities. A Scout can quickly capture objectives while the Heavy is distracted or busy, forcing the Heavy to abandon his position or be overwhelmed by the objective progress. Now I'm going to move on to Heavy's pros and cons. I'm just going to jump straight into the pros and cons, so let's start off with the pros. Heavy has the highest health out of all the mercenaries, making him tanky and hard to kill. This gives him the edge in direct fights, as he can absorb a lot of damage before going down. Heavy's health allows him to outlast Scout in most 1v1 situations, if the Scout is close or mid-range. Secondly, the minigun does massive amounts of damage at medium range, and if the Scout gets too close, the Heavy will shred him quickly. The constant stream of bullets makes it hard for Scouts to rush in without taking significant amounts of damage. If a Scout is caught in the minigun's firing range, especially in a confined space, they will have a tough time surviving due to the Heavy's minigun. The third pro is that Heavy can knock down key areas like control points or choke points with the minigun, deterring Scouts from rushing in. The sheer volume of bullets can keep Scouts from getting too aggressive. Heavy camping a critical area makes it difficult for Scouts to... Heavy camping a critical area, like a control point, makes it difficult for Scouts to contest objectives without backup. Finally, the Heavy can be absolutely buffed with the medic. When paired with the medic, Heavy becomes way harder to kill. A pocket medic paired with a Heavy can neutralise Scout's hit and run tactics. A pocket medic with a Heavy makes it nearly impossible for a lone Scout to take them down. Now moving on to the cons of Heavy. The first and most obvious thing is his speed. Being the slowest class in the game, it makes him vulnerable to faster opponents like Scouts who can easily outmaneuver him. Scouts can dart in and out of the Heavy's range, making it difficult for the Heavy to keep up. This allows Scouts to chip away at his health without staying in the minigun's line of fire for too long. Secondly, the Heavy's minigun The minigun takes a moment to spin up before firing, which can leave the heavy vulnerable if he's caught off guard. Scout can exploit this delay by attacking while the heavy's weapon is not spun up, taking advantage of his sluggish reaction time. Thirdly, the minigun's accuracy has a big damage drop significantly at long range, making heavy less effective in open areas. Scouts with weapons like a scattergun shoot the heavy from mid to long range distance and retreat before the heavy can close the distance or spin up his minigun. Lastly, despite the high health, heavy is still susceptible to headshots and crits. If the scout can land a consistent shots, especially something like the Criticola or the Force of Nature, then he can take a heavy down faster than expected. A skilled scout who can use elevation and timing to his advantage can deal critical damage to a heavy, especially if the heavy isn't paying attention or isn't revved up, or the minigun isn't revved up. Scout's strengths consist of speed, mobility, and hit and run tactics, making the scout a tricky opponent for a slow mercenary like heavy. With proper flanking and movement, scouts can gradually wear down the heavy while avoiding confrontations. Some scouts' weaknesses are heavy's high health and massive amounts of damage input makes him vulnerable in close range combat. A single mistake in timing or positioning can lead to the scout's quick death. While the heavy can easily dominate a scout in close quarters combat or defensive situations, the scout's speed and agility give him an upper hand in the open spaces or when engaging from a distance. A well-played scout can outflank and outmaneuver a heavy, but if the scout makes a mistake or misjudges his positioning, the heavy's firepower will quickly turn the tide to his favour. I'm a pro at writing. I'm not sure which one is better, if I'm being honest, so I would like you guys to leave your opinion in the comment section. I hope you enjoyed this video. If I sounded different, I think the way I speak, not my voice, it was a complete script that I made. So yeah, it's because I used to just do bullet points, so I might try that next time, if I'm being honest, because it sounds more natural. Yeah, well, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'll probably upload next week at some point, probably, but I hope you enjoyed the video, and bye. Yeah, I am not sticking with scripts. I'm just going to do bullet points like how I used to do.